All right, hello WTP
Bueno,
PhD. Hi. Welcome everyone to this little training. I've spoken with Brittany and Brian about making a
hello
video for co-host, and
there.
let me mute this guy. So I'm using Mark as my example on how to mute and unmute as a co-host. So what I like to do is on my participants, just click participants. It'll show you everybody that's here. It'll usually be your name. It's just gonna say me co-host. Right now I can unmute Mark whenever I want. I can unmute him, but to avoid having our guests unmute themselves, I like to go ahead and mute participants on entry, say yes and continue. And also when it says allow participants to unmute themselves, take that off so they cannot unmute themselves. So that's one way that we can avoid our guests that are coming in unmuting themselves. Whenever you are in Rodolfo or Ceci's, if you're a co-host for any of them, there's gonna be right here on the bottom, it might say admit guest to the webinars, and that is completely fine. You can go ahead and do that. And what I like to do, I would like to take that option off. I'll let the guests come in and come out like we used to normally do, but around 8:20 is when I will just like put it back on, and I myself will start meeting them. Unfortunately, I don't have that option, but just letting you guys know, that's what I like to do. Also, to avoid having anybody sharing their screens while the host is providing them, right here where it says share screen, I like to go ahead and click on my advanced sharing options, and you see how it says one participant can share at a time, multiple. I like to keep it just one participant. Where it says who can share right here, I always put only host. So only the host or co-host can share the screen, so there shouldn't be any option for the participants to share their screens. And then if let's just say that our guests are doing something inappropriate, we can go ahead and ask them to stop their video. So if he ever puts his camera back on, let me see what I mean, like I can unmute and unmute him as I please, but let's make sure that we always keep them muted. Let's just say, for example, I want them to stop their videos because they're doing something inappropriate. Just go ahead and ask them to stop their video. Their video is completely stopped. That's what I like to do, especially when there's something inappropriate happening. Someone's in the bathroom or they're smoking a Mary J or anything that is not appropriate to the webinars. Go ahead and click on that immediately. If they are, however, messaging you something inappropriate, please make sure that you boot that person out. Here, it just shows me and Mark, but what I like to do is where it says the little dots on the side, I always make host only. We used to allow our guests to talk, but because of so many people calling us a spam, being very disrespectful to our speakers, from now on, I like to keep that option just to the host. If anybody wants to talk, let's just say that the host says, oh, well, write down on the comments where you come from, then I will take that option and put everybody. But unless the speaker says otherwise, keep it as a host. Do not change it, just to respect for the speakers. Their time is very valuable. We want to respect their time. See, for example, Mark just sent me a private message. They can do that. So please keep in mind that as a co-host, we always have to make sure the chat's appropriate, everyone's muted, and the cameras are perfect. Some guests, won't have their cameras on, and that's completely fine. I don't like requesting the cameras from the guests because I don't want them to feel inappropriate or like I'm pushing them. That's why I myself, as a co-host, I like to keep my camera on at all times. So if the guests see me that, oh hey, she has her camera on, and all of us have our cameras on, it's more likely that the guests are gonna have their cameras on. So always keep in mind, keep your cameras on, make sure everything is muted, chat's appropriate, and that the sharing screen is only host. If it's not host, then please make it just only host. Another tip that I wanted to give you guys, because I write everything down on a piece of paper every single time we have pregame, is that whenever we're doing pre-games, write down who your co-hosts are, who's breaking the floor, who your speakers are and sometimes who your closers are, because sometimes you want to keep track of who's actually on the BOM that's a closer, that's an agent. I like to do that, so I'd be like, okay, well, I don't have to worry about this person because he's an agent. Done deal. They know the rules. But the reason why I say keep in mind who your speakers are, sometimes us as the co-host or the host will forget to make our speakers the co-host. So I always like to go to my participants and click on like search for their names. Let's just say in this case Mark Perez was my speaker. I will type his name, Mark Perez, and I will have my mouse ready to unmute him if he's not a co-host. But do have like a group chat with your co-host. Like for example, when Tyler, Blake, and myself are co-hosting, we have our own group chat, so we can talk to each other like, hey, who's gonna unmute this person, who's gonna do this. Because let's just say that Mark Perez is my speaker, I'll mute him, and then Tyler goes to unmute him, she'll accidentally mute him, and then we're gonna have an issue that our speaker's gonna be talking but his mic's muted. So make sure that if you don't have their numbers, get their numbers. If not, just send them a private message saying, hey, I'll be unmuting our guest. Send that to all the co-hosts that you are co-hosting so they don't do anything, so then you're taking the initiative. If not, then we're gonna have the technical difficulty. It has happened before, but you're always keeping that communication. If anything, make sure you guys exchange numbers, contact each other, always be like, hey, let's just say, hey, so-and-so, I saw this person on the camera doing this, what do you think? Keep each other accountable, that you're all checking the cameras, checking the speech, everything. Because let's just say someone's doing something, but you're not sure, should I kick them out? Ask for opinions. I ask Chris Martinez all the time, hey, should I kick this person out? They're doing this. I'll show him proof. I'll send him pictures. Hey, this is what's going on. That was when I first started co-hosting, and he told me if that was the thing, that was the case, follow my gut and kick them out, because they're being disrespectful not just to me, but to everybody there that's trying to learn and get an experience. So I hope that this video gives you guys any insights of how to co-host. It's super simple. It's nothing too hard or too out of the ordinary. It's just my little ins and outs of how I've been doing co-hosting and what I like to do to make sure that everything is, set in stone, so we can help our coaches, Ceci and Rodolfo Vargas, have a smooth transition through every BOM. But anyways, guys, that is all the time I have for you. I will see you guys on the next BOM. Bye, guys.